Hang into this. We're not even hanging around here. Murad is out. Florentino is out.
Right off the bat, two of the most powerful characters in the latest patch. You can also see the Nakroth out. We talked about maybe the rotate from Angra into the jungle, meaning that he's going to be playing melee assassins. And Geo Esports want no part of that.
Geo is actually paying the Vexex that we mentioned earlier on, and Angra with that 1v9 at the end of his name is obviously paying homage to Vex. So now we see Geo paying the Angra tax this time.
So the Angra tax, Valheim.
Oh, not yet. Angra tax plus Valheim, exactly. Valheim, like we mentioned earlier, even though he's not great in the late game, he can snowball games early.
And since Latam likes their aggression so much, the early game presence of a Valheim can be deciding. However, that means because the Valheim ban comes through, Richter slips through the draft. Geo lock him in right off the bat.
Right, that was the obvious pick there, the strongest hero left overall, at least among this particular meta. So once Sephra goes through, that allows them. But because of that,
familiar.
Yeah, very much. Teamy, the pick here for Pain.
Teamy historically, or at least so far in this meta, has been used to power farm a side lane marksman. Whether or not we'll see that coming out from Pain is still up in the air, but they'll be countering into one as the Telenas gets locked in alongside in the net.
This is a theme that we've seen all day. We have the dive coming from one of the side lanes or perhaps even the jungler, and then they go with the backline in the Telenas. You give her so much room when you're putting pressure on the backline from that side or from your jungle.
Angra pulling out something that we didn't predict from him. It looks like we'll see a jungle Violet coming through. Rioma in the sideline.
Not quite decided yet.
Could be the opposite.
Right. We've seen Violet a little bit in the side lane, and it could be the case here to try to outrange the Telenas with tactical fire, but I would...
But Daniel, it's bad.
You don't easily outrange
the Telenas
with tactical fire.
No.
Right, oh yeah, okay.
the big battle between Violet and Telenas is sustained damage versus burst, and that can go either way. Violet should win head-to-head so long as there aren't other mitigating factors.
Is this Superman getting locked in? He is.
Yes. In an effort to create other mitigating factors, in an effort to be able to shut back the Telenas' sustained damage, stop the Crest from being able to tank the front line, you pull out the Superman, who is the ultimate final say in repositioning technology.
Repositioning technology?
Yes.
Explain?
It's superpowers.
If you want people to
I
boo,
understand the word superpowers.
if you're looking at a team and you're like, man, I wish that whole team was about 4 meters to the left.
I wish there was some technology with which I could use to reposition them.
Do I have a product for you?
Oh!
His name's Superman.
Oh, hi.
And
is he available in all local stores?
Yes, actually.
Reproducible.
Right.
And you bring him into any lane, any team fight, you can shift everything to the left. You can disrupt any serious engage, which is really powerful into a composition that wants to hold a specific formation, like this Telenas Crash does.
Yeah, and...
But that's not all, TJ. It also comes with it, yeah. All right, so these rosters... So what we can deduce from this first is that Latin American scene and meta, not wildly different from EU, at least until we actually start fighting.
Right, and just based on that draft, even without having seen these teams as of late, I do like Geoside because they have the tried and true composition of having that backline damage and a lot of dive from the jungle and the side lane. I like that mix that teams are putting in really gives a lot of room for the Tel so that she can output loads of damage.
I think a lot of this does rest on the Telenas. We have the potential to dive the Telenas, we have the potential to burst the Telenas, and it is all about whether or not the Crash, whether or not the Kriknak can both stop the Violet and stop the Superman.
Yeah, the thing is, I have more faith in a Richter and a Kriknak getting to the backline than perhaps a Superman just providing everything for his team. All it takes is one shutdown on the Superman, and your Telenas is safe.
I think I'm going to go against you again. I think just looking at this draft, I do side with Pain Gaming. I do think there is a lot of potential, particularly with the Teamy, to just outscale their opponents.
Well,
yeah, that Teamy and the way this meta is developing, that's a real danger, as we've already seen.
Well, you're going against history because every single time we've seen a side lane ADC, it has been victorious today.
I don't think the side lane ADCs have yet encountered the power of a Teamy Rioma, a Teamy Violet. There's so many characters that can scale up in this composition. I think this might be the answer to the meta from Pain Gaming.
I'm actually curious to see if the Teamy will be used as a way to hyper farm Violet, because he can get her through the jungle very, very quickly, have her rotate over, or is he just going to be in the lane and be in that roaming presence?
The AHQ strap.
Remember, we've also got some new players here as well. They obviously haven't turned up as complete newbies or they wouldn't be here. But Geo finding out a few players that we're not so familiar with in this best of 2, which has started up. Geo against Pain.
We'll have to see if Geo's fresh blood can draw some. Our first game of the day.
Well, right as we got into the game there, lots of damage coming on to the Crush right off the bat. So he had to go ahead and back up there. And remember, he is that sideline presence. He's not going to be on the support this game. Ooh, Manga. Taking lots of damage here.
You want to keep an eye on a key matchup. Let's talk about top lane. The power of Superman and the power of Richter are actually quite similar.
Both can dash in, get that damage. I like the Richter, obviously. He is that priority pick. And he can jungle strike in and stop Superman in his tracks. Gets lots of damage on him, chunk him down before he can get back to lane.
And they both have pretty good overall map mobility as well. We'll have to see how that plays in. Elwind does take another beating on the Crashed, but he's there to take them.
Look at this. ZRK is dominating this matchup with Manga so much that he's freezing out the wave. And what that means, for those of you who don't know, he just stands in the wave and allows his own minions to die, so it prevents the farm going. And that is huge for those larger melee minions. And he just goes down, TJ.
An excellent opening pick from ZRK. Now the punish will come through. The whole team here for him. Doesn't look like he'll get away, but that has created an opportunity for the rest of Pain Gaming who want to be able to get a pick. Elwind stunned up by the booty boots. There's the tactical fire. Metal's here with a blinding light. Oh, and they can't quite find Elwind, but that should be an Abyssal Dragon guarantee.
That was so skillful, TJ. Being able to chain those stuns together. Crush had that ability to jump away the entire time, but literally couldn't because the stuns were just picture perfect, one after another.
You were talking about the power of the side lane marksman, having already seen ZRK win that lane hard. Is your faith shaken?
Yeah, I gotta say, it's pretty shaken because if you can't win that matchup against ZRK, then you're not gonna be able to win throughout the game.
Elwind threatened. I'd like to draw attention to the fact that during this time, White actually pressed into the enemy jungle and stole away a golem.
And that is pretty powerful, but on the backside, Anthony just comes back and takes him out.
And ZRK's finding more pressure down bottom. Got caught out again, but he's still not alarmed. He's got the rest of his team here. Fryzer misses the chain lance, but it should not matter. The rest of the team is here. Angra for the damage, but they can't quite find the same poke.
Manga taking so much damage, nearly dies to Fryzer. Manga is... This is an issue, TJ. This is officially...